Okay, so we're back working on this 2013 Chevy Malibu here, and we're going to be replacing the overflow tank. There might be a few reasons you would want to replace this. For one, it could be leaking, and it could be cracked, or these little spouts could be broken on it. Another reason is because you can't see through it very well. It's all cloudy. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the tank that I got here. Now, at the time I got this from Amazon, it was very inexpensive. I think it was about $13 for this tank. I believe it's the same exact tank that goes on the Chevy Cruze. And just let me show you, this is a Dorman. It said 603-385. And this is what I was talking about. These will get cracked and brittle and start leaking, or you could have a crack down here somewhere that could show itself once it gets pressurized. I like Dorman. As far as, you know, they make the parts pretty close to the OEM, so they usually do a pretty good job of making aftermarket parts. So, you know, it comes with a cap and everything. This is where we slip it on to the bracket here and here. So we got us a nice new tank. I said about $13. You know, money well spent. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Okay, so I've got my hood up. Now I'm having to prop mine up because my hood shock has went up. So I've got a board on each side just for backup here. Okay, so we'll go in here and take a look at this. And you're not going to be able to see anything here. It's cloudy, and right now I'm running flush through it. So I'm going to actually be putting coolant back in here. So I'm going to be draining this all down and getting coolant back in. So it's a good time for me come in here and replace this. Now you can see we don't have a lot connected, and obviously you want to wait until your car is completely cooled down before you tackle this. But we got this hose here, we got a hose down here, and it's supposed to be on a clip here, but you can see this one here is broken, and then you can see the one that it slips back into that bracket right there. So it just slips back there down onto this. So pretty simple. The first things we're going to do is go ahead and drain this coolant down here. Okay, so I'm over here on the passenger side. Now you can come down beneath here and see that spout right there that we have to loosen that counterclockwise. And we'll put a little hose on that, or just put a pan down under there and catch this excess coolant. But you can very easily grab this from beneath the car. And I don't have my fog light in, so I can even look right through here. And you can see I can reach right in here. So I'm just going to get a pan. You could put a hose, a 3/8 hose. You can fit that on there and make sure you clamp it so it doesn't come loose. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and slide a pan right under here. Now you may have some plastic pieces underneath here that you may need to remove on yours. A lot of that stuff is long since been ripped off or removed on this one. Okay, so my pan's in place. I'm just going to give this a turn. It's not going to come out real fast until we get up there and take that cap off. And then it'll really get to go in here. Like I said, putting a hose on that will definitely create less of a mess. So we've got it draining down there. If you really want to speed things up, you can remove this lower hose here. But basically, for me, I'm going to have to drain out a lot because I'm going to be putting coolant back. But in your case, you just need to drain it down so this coolant is low enough that it's not going to be leaking out everywhere. And you can see that we've got it pretty well down past the bottom hose, so we can go ahead and remove this now. Okay, so once we drain what we needed, was go ahead and tighten this back up all the way. Okay, so we'll just get started on this upper clamp here and get it pulled back. Let's see if we can twist this upper one off. We'll just keep these hoses up kind of high just in case there's any residual coolant in there. So now we're going to get on that lower. Right, now we'll see if we can wiggle this back. And this one, because it's a little bigger, may be a little bit more difficult to twist off of here. And you may have to use a screwdriver. Okay, so it's 1 second. Alright, so we're going to use a little pry bar screwdriver. Finish pulling that off. Okay, and as you can see, we're going to pull it out here, but this one here is broke. Okay, so all I have to do is give this tank a pull forward. You can see that clip just comes right out of there. And we can just lift this old one up and out. You can see that it's very difficult to see anything through this tank here. Alright, so we're getting ready to slip this back into place. So this one slips down over this tab, and then this one slips back into that back part there. So we're going to slip that back in there, and at the same time we're going to push this tab down and over the top of this, and I may have to pull it back out slightly here. It's not wanting to exactly line up here. Well, I'm doing it wrong here. It's supposed to slide through, I think the front part here is only supposed to slide through. Okay. So it looks like it just slips onto that front there, and then that holds it in place. So instead of going up, I thought that it went over it, but apparently it doesn't do that. It just slips into the back, and it sits on the notch on the front there. So I mistook the other one for being broken. Actually, that's the way that it's supposed to sit. I was thinking it went over that tab. Okay, and I realize there's the clip that's missing right here is the reason this is loose, so I have to find a clip. Okay, so pretty simple, and we're going to go ahead and slip the lower hose back on here. Alright, so just working this clamp back up here where it was. Now our upper hose. Alright, now we're ready to get coolant back in it. Okay, so you just want to get you a funnel and start putting coolant in it. Now yours will have the GM Dex Cool. You can get it pretty much anywhere. You can get the aftermarket stuff, AutoZone, Walmart. However, my system is empty, so I'm just going to be putting the green coolant in, and it works just fine. And because mine is empty, I'm going to figure on about 1 gallon, and then 1 gallon of distilled water, and then we'll go from there. But I think it's a little slightly over 2 gallon system. So most time, if you get 1 gallon of concentrate in it, it's going to turn out just about right. But as far as yours go, you'll just need to get a little bit more Dex Cool. You probably didn't lose more than half of 1 gallon, and just top it back off. Okay, so we got it topped off. Now let's go ahead and put our new cap on here, and we can just go ahead and run it and work the air out of it, which I doubt you'll have very much. Okay, so you can see how we went from this cloudy tank that you can't see what you have in there, whether you're low or not, to this nice new tank. We can see easily where our level's at here. It's very easy to get the air out. If you do get a little bit of air in the system, you'll just fill it up, put the cap on, and drive it a little bit, and then after it's cooled off, remove the cap and let any excess air out. Alright, so that's going to do it on this video on replacing this overflow tank here, and it's very inexpensive to replace. Like I said, about $13 or $14 I think. I'll leave a link to this. Very easy. Shouldn't take you more than probably 10-15 minutes. You can do this. So I hope you found the video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. As always, I invite you to subscribe, and thanks for watching.